EA Sports.
The calendar may say autumn, but temperatures are still pretty sweltering here in North Florida. But the good news, the radar is clear. Still, hydration will be key today at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. Today it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alongside my partner Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They're led by the #1 overall pick in the 2021 draft, Trevor Lawrence.
The word is potential, potential, potential. Think about this guy from the time he was in high school, one of the top prospects going to college, coming out of college, mentioned as a generational type quarterback. He looks the part. Tall, big arm, surveys the field, and can take off and run when under duress.
Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. First carry for the Clemson man, Travis Etienne. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Lawrence will throw. That to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
A 45-yard punt for there on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
And frankly, this is the type of game that a great quarterback relishes, because 0-2 on the road, everything's against him and his team. No one can expect them to win. Sometimes you band together real tight in that situation, and if he plays really well, they've got a chance to get that done.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a 1st. Robinson up the middle. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Now, hang on here a second. Looks like a Jaguar in some obvious discomfort from that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. The Texans at 0-2 here to begin the season. And listen, they made their share of mistakes in these first 2 games, CD, but talking with them in the days leading up to this one, doesn't seem like they've lost any confidence.
I would agree with that, and what they told us was that they weren't planning on making any drastic changes. They didn't see the need to shake things up. They were going to continue to plow ahead. They thought they had the right guys on the team and in the locker room, but they do have to start winning some games.
Meanwhile, Stroud's this throw finds Smith and Jigba. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 19. 11 yards for number 11. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Back to the ground with Robinson. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Second down and 4. They'll run again here with Robinson. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to first and goal. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early. Chances are good he's going to be a very busy guy. 2 catches already in this opening drive, and they were looking his way for a 3rd.
I think they put this defense on notice that could be a really, really frequent combination. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
And they've stopped him on the first 2 downs. Obviously, this is an important play coming up here. I think it's more so for the guys on defense because if they stop him here, I think they've set the tone for the entire game, how difficult it's going to be to score on them.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Also a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while, but when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. And this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the touchback. So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the 2nd time here in this game. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Now Lawrence, and his throw here's incomplete. Hey, look at the defense for these Texans. They've been very good against the pass so far this year. Number 4 in the NFL right now.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to ETN. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
The catch and run, good for 18 and a 1st down. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And 22 more yards there and another 1st down.
Good, strong, explosive run that started inside, which means you get defensive linemen, the defensive tackles, the nose guards. Those guys have to be controlled. How about the offensive line, the job they just did?
Yeah, key that A-gap usually on those runs, right?
That's where it all starts because everyone wants to kind of control that area. It disrupts the defensive side and the offensive side, as we just saw, it opens up possibilities.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. That one complete. It's tanked down. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left. On the give, here's Robinson. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Here's Stroud. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down. They'll run for it with Robinson. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
On the ball, now.
On first down, here's Stroud. Touchdown, Texans! Nico Collins. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are able to extend their lead. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So that drive, 80 yards, 9 plays. And it was Nico Collins who finished it off with a touchdown reception. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. No run back here for Jones, a touchback. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. Now Lawrence to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. That was Will Anderson getting home and finishing the play. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half, 10-0 our score. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth, yes, and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
It'll be a pickup of 8 on the screen, and it sets up a third down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker as they'll stop him well short of the yellow line. Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fielded at about the 28. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And the Texans will take over. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board.
They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And he'll just keep two hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long. One more time, they'll keep it on the ground. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with fourth down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. And how about this? Fourth and long, and they're going to go for it. They're going for it. Here's Stroud. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off, and the Jags take over in terrific field position. And this one is right through, and that will do it for this first half. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. We'll get started up at Lucas Oil Stadium in the capital city of Indianapolis. And it is the Jets who have the lead in the second quarter.
A no break needed. Let's get back to it. Week 3, here we go with quarter 3. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. And he returns this to the 22. So here are the Texans to take over. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football.
Okay, ready? Here we go.
First and 10, it's Stroud. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be. Here's second and 10. Stroud working out of the gun. Short throw into the hands of Jordan. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a third and 3.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion, but I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him up to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
The offense going to stay out there. They've converted once, failed once. What can they do here on fourth down? That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. On first and 10, it's Robinson. And it's a fumble. And the Jags grab it. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
We just saw the dilemma for him.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Second down and a run by Robinson. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Stroud on third down now. Flushed out right. Oh, poor decision there, and it's going to be intercepted. Mike Edwards picks it off. That is just what this defense was hoping for, an interception on the opening possession of this third quarter.
Obviously didn't want to surrender a touchdown and fall even farther behind, and we've gotten to know this team a little bit, haven't we? Couldn't you just see their defensive leaders telling the offensive guys, telling the quarterback, don't worry, we got you to start things off. You take it from there.
Lawrence, and that one to the right side and incomplete.
That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
2nd and 10 now. It's Lawrence. He completes it to Jones. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Lawrence on 3rd down. And this pass broken up. But the contact well timed there, and now 4th down. Here's Logan Cook now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Houston set to take over. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. Now here's Stroud, and this one too low.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Stroud to throw it. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
Good clean play, no flags coming out of the pocket of the officials, turns into an incompletion, and that should get them off the field with a 3 and out.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Here's Jones on the return. A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Jacksonville back on offense and ready to take over. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a 1st down. And they'll go again with Etienne. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Here's Lawrence. He'll find Etienne out of the backfield. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. 3rd and 2. They'll run with Etienne. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground.
But a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Etienne up the middle. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Didn't have a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. Second down and a little more than a yard here. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. They trail here as we start the fourth. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Running out of the gun with ETN. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. 3rd and 15 here after the 1st and 2nd down plays went in the wrong direction. Motion man left is Kirk. On 3rd down, here's ETN. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. 4th down now after a loss of 2. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. He hit his first one, this from 44 yards out now. And his kick is right there. It's good. And that'll bring him back within 4. So an interesting call there to take the 3. And I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
And now out comes Houston. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays they're going to gain yardage, how would you say, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. This a very important drive, and that incompletion leads to a very important 3rd down here if they're going to try and get the football back.
Yeah, getting it back, absolutely crucial to their chances to try and win this game. I would expect a lot of pressure here. They can't afford to continue to get first downs and need to win the clock.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The Texans send the punter out as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Jones on the return. Muscles him off. 35 yards that time on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take it. Oh, and a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Man over the middle, and it's complete. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. Here we go, 1st and goal. ETN. Going to be hit and met at the line of scrimmage. They get him down at the 3. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. And they're knocking on the door. 2nd and goal now in a 1-score game.
Here we go, sir. Here we go, sir.
One more time with ETN. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
Lawrence. Got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Christian Kirk, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Jaguars have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter. They get one more as the extra point's up and good. So it's now a 3-point game here in the closing stages as a field goal now can only tie it. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. So Stroud and the Texans down 13-10. A minute 36 to go. So they're in danger of a third straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Trayvon Walker in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. Stroud. He's going to let it fly. And it's knocked away and incomplete. This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long. Here's Stroud. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now as to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. It's 1st and goal and a late touchdown at this stage. Could officially salt this one away. And they'll run with ETN. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for the entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
Maybe the old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
From the 5, 3rd and goal. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it. Obviously, Charles, such an important, well-executed touchdown, and that caps off what has been a strong second half. Remember, they trailed at halftime.
And how about the response? That's the type of thing that every team talks about before a season begins. Don't worry about the scoreboard at the half. Let's play strong in the second and come out and take the fight to our opponent. They did exactly that, and now they have the lead to show for it.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Texans getting set here to take over again on offense. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better, and try and execute that on the way out the door. Maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
We'll see if they go back to base. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
If this offense can't get it done, they'll think back to just a few plays and say to themselves, this was a winnable game and we let it get away. Still a chance to save it, but time's definitely running out.
Stroud to throw it. He'll get this complete to Collins. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with a clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
Problem for them, they needed that score with a little more time left on the clock. I think just too little too late now.
I would agree with that, and we're programmed never to say never. But in this case, we're asking a lot for them to even think they have a chance.
One final shot for C.J. Stroud. And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2, they don't get it. And it's incomplete, and now just 3 seconds left. Look at the clock. Time for one more shot. And this this is going to be recovered by the Jaguars. And that should just about do it. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the fourth quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not